I want to ask you a question that most men have never really answered. Not because they don't care about the answer, but because they've never stopped long enough to work it out. Here it is. What kind of father have you decided to be? Not what kind of father do you hope to be, not what kind of father do you feel like on a good day. What have you actually decided? What's the clear, settled, thought through purpose that you're pursuing when you walk through the front door at the end of the day? For most dads, there isn't one, not a real one. There's love, and as we talked about last time, that love is genuine. There's good intentions, and those are real too, but a clear, defined, driving purpose. Have you thought about that? Most men have never gotten there, and that gap between the love they feel and the purpose they're living is where drift happens. And drift, I want to argue today, is the default. It's where every father ends up who doesn't make a different choice. Not because he's a bad man, not because he doesn't care, but because life is loud and fast and relentless. And without something clear to aim at, you react to whatever's in front of you. You manage the moment, and one managed moment at a time, the years go by. Purpose is what changes that. And I mean that in the most concrete, practical way I know. Purpose isn't just a motivational concept. Research on motivation is clear. A well-defined purpose produces specific, measurable results in the way a person thinks, endures, and performs. What's true in business and athletics and medicine is just as true in fatherhood, maybe more so. So let me walk you through 3 things that a clear purpose actually does for a dad. And then I want to land on the purpose I believe is worth building your fathering around. The first thing purpose does is inspire endurance. When you don't know why you're giving so much effort and energy, it's easy to burn out. You get weary, you get dissatisfied. Eventually, you give up. Not all at once, but slowly, in a way that tired men give up on hard things. You stop engaging as deeply. You stop initiating. You start telling yourself you'll do better when things settle down. But when you're clear on the cause that you're pursuing, purpose kicks in like fuel in a tank. It helps you stay in the fight, especially at the quitting points. And fatherhood has quitting points, not the kind where you walk out the door, but the quieter kind. The night you're exhausted and your kid needs you anyway. The season when nothing seems to be working and you're not sure you're making any difference. The years of thankless, invisible investment that won't pay off for a long time to come. In those moments, men without purpose drift. Men with purpose lean in. Think back to what I shared in the last episode about Dr. Littleford in that Alaskan bay. He was a capable swimmer. He could have made it to the shore. What held him there with his son wasn't ability, it was cause. His love for that boy was clear enough and strong enough and settled enough that it produced extraordinary endurance in the hardest possible moment. That's what a worthy purpose does. It pulls something out of you that comfort and convenience never could. The second thing purpose does is increase focus. You've heard the physics of it. Light, when focused, becomes a laser. It can cut through steel. The same principle holds in life. When you know your purpose, you concentrate your time, energy, and attention more efficiently. You stop scattering yourself across 100 distractions and start aiming toward what matters most. Here's the hard truth about busyness. Busyness doesn't equal impact. A man can be busy from sunup to sundown and accomplish nothing of lasting value. You can fill every hour and still miss your kids. And a lot of dads do exactly that, not because they're choosing the wrong things in any dramatic way, but because they've never gotten clear enough on the right thing to say no to everything else. Stephen Covey said it plainly. It's easier to say no when there's a deeper yes within. That's the leverage that purpose gives you. When you know what you're building, when the vision is clear, the daily decisions get clearer, not easier, but clearer. You know what to pursue and what to let go. You know how to spend your time and who to spend it on. Because you can't do everything, time, energy, and attention are limited. It's not failure, that's reality. The key isn't doing more, it's choosing better. And purpose helps you choose better. The third thing purpose does is define success. Without purpose, there's really no accountability. You can't know if you're winning because you've never defined what winning looks like. You coast through seasons with your kids. You tell yourself it's going to be fine eventually because you have no measuring stick to say otherwise. But when you possess purpose, it becomes your built-in GPS. You can regularly ask yourself, am I moving toward this? Am I becoming the father I said I was going to be? If the answer is yes, great, keep going. If the answer is no, pause, recalibrate, get back on track. Purpose tells you when to push harder and when to change course. It holds you accountable to something beyond your own comfort. Let me put this in a concrete way because this is where it gets real. Let's say at 6:30 in the evening, you just walked in the front door after a brutal day at work. Your 8-year-old runs up to you, excited about the Lego castle he built. Your phone is buzzing with emails. Dinner needs to be started. The house is a mess. You're running on empty. In that moment, your fathering purpose gets tested, not your fathering feelings. Those are all over the place because you're tired. Your purpose, however, your settled, decided conviction about what you're doing here, why you're doing it, and who you're doing it for, that's what makes the day. So, do you half listen while you scroll through your phone? Do you say, "That's great, buddy," without really looking and disappear into the other room? Or do you stop, kneel down, and let him walk you through every single detail of that Lego castle? Now, that's not a small moment. I know it looks like one, but it's exactly the kind of moment that, repeated over hundreds of ordinary evenings, either builds something lasting with your child or quietly erodes it. And how you respond in that moment is shaped almost entirely by whether you have a clear purpose driving you or whether you're just improvising. Because life pushes back against purpose, doesn't it? That's not a possibility, it's a guarantee. And if you don't lead your fathering with intention, you'll drift through it by accident, reacting instead of responding, coasting instead of engaging with the long-term goal, surviving the days instead of shaping the years. That's why I believe the most decisive thing a father can do is this: get clear on his purpose. So let me offer you one. It's the purpose that has shaped my fathering for years. It's the vision at the center of the model that I've created for fatherhood, and it's what this entire series is building toward. Become your child's father friend. Now, what does that mean? It means to seek to become a dad who leads his children with responsibility, loves them through relationship, and lives with courageous sacrificial devotion to his family. It is a dad who leans in with presence, leads with purpose, and loves his children with passion. He leans in, leads well, and loves big. Now, I know that phrase, father friend, gets reactions. The first I get is a question. Is it really possible to be both a father and a friend to your child? Yes, absolutely. But it requires clarity about what both roles actually mean, and it looks different at every stage of your child's life. There's more on that in the sessions to come. The second reaction is pushback. Men will say, "Well, I'm not here to be my kid's friend, I'm their father." I understand that. I feel that too. Let me give you an example. My wife and I were eating at our favorite burger place not long ago. Out back, there's a local koi fountain with a sign right in the front that reads, "Hey kid, nothing goes in the water, please. This means you too." Now, a boy, probably 7 or 8, from the family right next to us, walked straight over and stuck his hands in, splashing around it like it was his own private pool. His parents were 6 feet away and didn't say a word, not a glance, not a, "Hey buddy, knock it off." They said nothing. So listen, I get the frustration. That passive, permissive version of parenting isn't what I'm talking about. A father friend is not a dad who abandons his authority to be liked. What I'm asking you is to expand the vision of what you are to your kids, to hold authority and affection together as a single calling, not to choose between them. Here's the thing. When we define the terms correctly, the conflict disappears. A father isn't just a provider or a rule enforcer. He's a guide, a protector, a source of identity. He leads with compassion. He corrects his children with care. And a friend, a real friend, not just a buddy, tells you the truth and speaks into your life even when it's uncomfortable. A real friend doesn't just accept you where you are. He helps you become better than you are. Put those two things together and you get the vision of a father friend, a man who lives in the tension between authority and affection, who is strong and tender, who corrects and connects, who is approachable and purposeful, truthful and warm. Shouldn't be such a revolutionary idea, but sadly it is. And that's because of another hard truth. Just as we have a crisis of dads who don't lead, we also have a crisis of dads who don't love, who are emotionally unavailable, distant, and disengaged. But authority without affection breeds resentment, and presence without emotional connection feels like absence. Neither is the calling. The calling is to do both, and doing both takes purpose. Both takes a decision. Because most fathers don't fail because they don't love their kids. They fail because they've never truly really decided what kind of father they're going to be. That indecision is costly, it's quiet, and it doesn't announce itself, but it costs you more than you know. It costs you presence in the ordinary moments that add up to everything with your kids. It costs you the relationship that you're capable of having with your children, the one they need, and the one that you're built for. And because the cost accumulates slowly, most men don't feel it until they're looking back. You don't accidentally become the father you want to be. Drift leads to regret. But when you lead with purpose, even ordinary moments become opportunities to build something extraordinary with your kids. Reed Markham put it this way: the quality of a father can be seen in the goals, dreams, and aspirations he sets not only for himself, but for his family. That's it. The father you become is shaped by the purpose you choose. So here's the challenge I want to leave you with today. Decide. Not just feel, not just intend, decide. Get clear on the kind of father you're going to be, on purpose and in writing, not because you have it all figured out, but because clarity is the beginning of everything. Because you can't lead your family towards something you haven't chosen yet. Because your kids deserve a dad who's aiming at something, who's swimming against the current instead of drifting with it, who knows his why clearly enough that it shows up on an ordinary Tuesday evening at 6:30 p.m. when he's tired and his son wants to show him a Lego castle. In the next episode, we're going to dig deeper into what the father-friend concept actually looks like, what it means to hold authority and affection together, what gets in the way of that, and how you grow into it at each stage of your child's life. Now, don't forget, this is the last week for you to sign up for pre-order of my new book coming out, being published by Morgan James Publishing, called Father Friend: How Intentional Dads Lean In, Lead Well, and Love Big at Every Stage. When you sign up before Father's Day, coming this Sunday, you'll receive a free signed print copy of the book when it releases, a free ebook given to you before Father's Day, and a chance to win a $100 gift card to your favorite father-child activity. You name it, we send it. But you've got to sign up this week. Go to fatherfriend.net/book to do so. I'll see you in episode 3.